Museum in New York City donated a huge hunk of steel, and it was commemorate families and remembrance of them. But no, people have to sit there and pull out the parts that we couldn't criticize Russia enough. Russia's on the agenda. Obviously, it's there, front and center. We know there's investigations going on, and Trump was all for it. He said, bring it on. Bring it on. Let's just have it out. Let's get it all out. James Comey, I got to tell you, the more sifting that I do and the more information I obtain, I get from sources, my sources, and the more reading that I do, it was the best decision that Donald Trump could have made. Probably the best decision he'll probably ever make I would be up at the top of firing him. Because I have said all along that Comey could have prosecuted easily Hillary Clinton for what she did. Easily. She broke the law on numerous occasions. And because of politics and because of the Obama administration, he went ahead and bowed to it all. And he is a swamp monster. A swamp monster. He was definitely bigger than he should have been. Was not a servant of this country in the way that a servant should serve its people. Not to say that he never served his country. Don't get me wrong. But his power was an overreach, and he cowtailed, and it looks like increasingly. My biggest point here is that he's trying to bring down the Trump administration, and he's tried to do it from day one. And I believe new information will show increasingly. That's why Donald Trump was so sure. And one of the reasons you think about how he fired him and why he fired him, and if you look at all the semantics, it was smart of him to give him no indication whatsoever to fire him because the Justice Department came in swiftly, confiscated those computers, and the investigation began right there. He didn't see it coming, and that was a good thing. He outsmarted him. This is something that Donald Trump does, folks. He outsmarts all of them. People think that the rough and tumble of Twitter is not thought out. He thinks about them. He understands what the story is going to be before the media even runs it. He knows what they're going to say. He knows what the reaction is going to be. It's kind of like being on a football field. People liken it to a chess game. I liken it to a football game. He knows where to hit. He knows what to call, and he has his people lined up, and I think it's very intelligent. But the bigger story here is Comey. Mark my words. And this investigation will show that there was no wrongdoing with any of the Trump family or people to show that broken any laws whatsoever. This is a diversionary tactic to sour and to cause people to lose hope, lose faith in the Trump administration. And there's so many other big ticket items that are so much more important to concentrate on. And thank God the White House is moving forward. Congress is moving forward on taxes, health care. But this is what the media consumes themselves with. And unfortunately, there's millions of Americans that are infected from these venomous poison that's propagated on the airwaves each and every day. And they go around with their water cooler discussion and on their telephones, their cell phones, sending Yahoo News, AOL News, Washington Post information, CNN information to all of their buddies saying this is what's happening. And people are making bets already as to by the end of the year that Donald Trump will be impeached. He'll be gone out of the White House. And I say, no, he won't. Thank you, but no. And if you voted for Donald Trump and you're worried about the numbers, Quinnipiac, I think, is the most reliable out of all of those numbers, much higher than all of them. Forget about the Fox News poll, the MSNBC poll. Fox had a big article talking about polls and how a lot of people that voted for Trump think they're BS. Well, I, for one of them, think that they are BS. I don't think it really gauges real America. True was the election, and true are the polls right now. Who cares? And I don't think Trump really cares at this moment. I think he cares about the American people. He cares about you and I, and he cares about the future to protect our kids. I just mentioned my granddaughter at the beginning of the broadcast, but the future for all of us, that we actually will have a country to call a country. Do I think it's that bad? I absolutely do. We live in some of the most dangerous times that the United States has ever been in because of the nature of the caliphate, the nature of ISIS and their agenda. And they are very calculative, and they're very determined, and they have snuffed out hundreds of thousands of Christians, and that's their mission. And they're making it very abundantly clear that they don't care how they do it. Now, there's debate whether or not Donald Trump should call these folks losers because it might outrage them. Some people think it's good because they might become reckless. What do you call them? Ministers of good? Katy Perry, we just give them a hug and love them? It is a loser thing that they've done, kill children. But those that subscribe to the caliphate and to ISIS, killing kids is a good thing because Allah gave kids to get to the parents and to rip the heart out of the infidel. See, this is part of their mandate, folks. There's nothing loving, there's nothing sweet, there's nothing caring about any of that. Pat Choate is our guest. He's going to be coming up momentarily. I hope you'll stay tuned for that. Dr. Pat Choate, the economist, and also the vice presidential nominee with Ross Perot back in 1996. He's an acclaimed author. Look up his books. Agents of Influence is one of my favorite books that he's written. But he's got lots of books that he's written, and very smart. One of the smartest you'll find in Washington. And he'll be joining us from, I believe, Tucson, Arizona. He's retired out there, but he's not really retired. I think he likes to say that, but he's still working. He's still doing things, and that's a good thing. You got to stay busy, that's for sure. I hope you'll reward yourself a little bit this Memorial Day weekend. Put a steak on there. It's not going to kill you. Have a nice steak. Cook it good. Cook it the way you like it. Enjoy it. Maybe put a little corn on the cob. It's always kind of nice. Fire roast it a little bit. And have a little drink. And I've said this yesterday, and I'll say it today. Fly the flag proudly. So many different people saying don't fly the flag or housing communities. It's Memorial Day. It's one of those days where you should fly the flag and be proud of it. And maybe you go to a cemetery, VFW, and put a rose on a grave. And just be thankful for the men and women who've sacrificed so you could be here and enjoy the freedoms that you do on this Memorial Day weekend. So, a little chicken, steak, pork, something, but enjoy it. That's what we're going to do. We'll be back with more, including Dr. Pat Choate, when For the People continues. Our website is forthepeopleshow.com. We'll be back, America.
It's unlike anything you've ever been through in your life, man. I was driving. This kid threw a grenade at us and went right over our vehicle. It was 12 years old.
The shockwave went through my head, rattled up my brain, and left.
Danger is around you 360 degrees at all times, and you can't unlearn that.
It's impossible to describe the sacrifices these men and women have made to protect our freedoms. And the job of rebuilding their lives is massive and growing every day. Many will need the programs offered by the Wounded Warrior Project for years to come.
I didn't know what PTSD was. All I knew is I was having nightmares. And when I got released, my reintegration was go check in at the VA, man.
My first coping mechanism was use drugs. Just numb it. Don't feel anything.
I was angry. I'm trying to pull myself out of that right now.
Your gift today of $19 per month will honor and empower these veterans so they can aid and assist each other.
The Wounded Warrior Project is a life raft.
I can say this without question that I wouldn't be here today if it weren't for it.
The Wounded Warrior Project is the first step, getting back out into the world and reforming yourself outside of the service.
Call or go online with a pledge of $19 a month. You'll receive this Wounded Warrior Project blanket, and your gift will provide critically needed programs that rebuild lives.
That was my first feeling of actually being a part of something bigger than myself again.
Well, I lost a few really close friends overseas, and if I quit, I'm going to let them down, and I'm not about to do that.
I'm learning to face my fears head on.
To trust and see what happens at the end.
It's a long process, but I had the drive and desire.
Please call or go online with your gift right now.
The internet is a big place, but 123 Ready TV has made it easy to start enjoying all of the current movies you enjoy and those movie classics. What if I told you that you could start streaming everything now and all the latest movies for just $19.99? And it's a one-time charge, not monthly. 123 Ready TV is a media app that you can have on your PC or your Android phone. You see, this app allows you to stream movies and TV shows, weather, and anything you already have on your PC or your phone or on the internet. Plus, no commercials. Find out why so many people are using this amazing media player. Start saving money and start enjoying all your favorite TV shows now and movies for just a one-time payment of $19.99. To get yours, go to forthepeopleshow.com. That's forthepeopleshow.com and click on the store page for your 123 Ready TV. Making a difference is something we strive to do each day at For the People. Our broadcast takes today's news and puts it into perspective with a common sense approach. Even Bill Clinton on the stump said that it was broken, it was laughable, it was a joke, it wasn't helping people, real people, it wasn't, because the premiums are too high. For the People needs your help. We are asking you to help us raise $5,000 so we can get the word out to more places that might one day carry For the People. Just log on to For the People's website at forthepeopleshow.com. By partnering with us, you're ensuring our survival and giving others the opportunity to hear a quality show that cares about America and your future. To make a donation, type forthepeopleshow.com into your browser. That's forthepeopleshow.com. Thank you for your support. And welcome back, America. I am Keith Allen and proudly welcome you to For the People for this special Memorial Day broadcast. And I couldn't think of anyone better to actually fit that bill for Memorial Day than Dr. Pat Choate. Hello, Pat.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing well. One of my favorite books, I was just telling our audience just before this past break, that Agents of Influence was one of my favorite books that you wrote.
Oh, thank you very much.
Now, I don't know if that's yours. You've written many, and I've read about, I'd say 3 books of yours, not all of them, but 3, and they're great books, and they're just the type of books that you write are ones that you don't read one time, that I have found, that these really, you have to reread them. There's just so much meat and potatoes in those books.
Keith, you're kind. Thank you very much.
Good stuff.
I greatly enjoyed writing that book. That book took me almost 3 years to write, and the tough part was the Appendix A and B, just gathering the research, because I was taking on basically 200 of some of the most powerful people in the country, including their law firms, and so I absolutely had to nail it. So I would only use materials when I was talking about former government officials then turning out, leaving office and becoming agents of influence for other governments, as General Flynn did. I would only do it where I had signatures by them on a Department of Justice Foreign Agent Registration Act, and then from there I would track down the monies. They have to report that, and they didn't computerize it over at the Department of Justice, but the only way I could avoid them attacking me for being wrong or suing me for slamming them.